Alright, so when I got released by the sheriff deputies of the Brown County Sheriff's Office, they left me with a big mess in my car. I first noticed SD card was on the ground right next to my car. They somehow got one of my SD cards thrown out of the car. I mean, they were dropping things outside of my car very carelessly. I mean, you could hear the thuds. And then, if you work, I used to work for UPS, and I got in trouble for dropping packages. All right, that's a big deal. If you drop packages, dropping belongings. I mean, my stuff that they dropped on the ground, it was not even in packages. It's just my stuff exposed to their careless handling as they're making their search. But they left things in a big disarray. They told me I had to be out of here, be out of the Woodman's parking lots very quickly, and I had to deal with this mess. Everything was unzipped, all my bags and stuff, they were all unzipped, and over time now, it's been a couple of days, I've been zipping them back up. I mean, things are not where I left them, and I try to keep as little as possible in this car. Over time, I've been throwing things out that I don't use just to make more space for just general movement. But they searched a minimalist's car. They searched my car, and that's where I'm practicing minimalism, but I'm also maximizing survivability too for floods and fires, which recently was a big problem south of here in Outagamie County. If you read the Facebook for the emergency dispatch, they're posting about the flooding issues and taking safe measures. Well, my safe measure is being prepared in my car to just get out of that area. If there's a flood, you just move. Get away from the path of the flood. Get away from the source. Just take higher ground. But then that goes against what cops are enforcing against, which is the camping. They got a problem with the appearance of somebody trying to be prepared for these floods that the emergency department are warning us about, and that's very frustrating, because then you question, how do you balance? I mean, do we have to be honestly put in a situation where we have to worry about a proper balance on survival, on emergency preparedness? But yeah, the cops really went through everything. They turned my cameras, and I mean they turned the cameras that were not 360 cameras. Well, the 360 camera they just simply put in a bag. I believe forget his name, Kitslaar did turn the 360 camera, and then saw that he was still in frame on the other side, because there's lenses on both sides. So then he reasoned that that's a camera that needs to be just plain covered up. I recorded on my GoPro Max, GoPro 10 inside the car, on my phone, but that's kind of unusable footage. It's not very good, and it cut off after 20 minutes somehow. And it was when he was fumbling with it in the bag. I also had my GoPro Nexus, which is GoPro 11. I had my best camera on, which was the Insta360 X4, but I just I set it down in the dash, in between the dash and the steering wheel, and it really didn't get great footage. So I'm just kind of abandoning that, and I'm just relying on 3 cameras: the one on the roof, the one inside, and then my necklace cam. I had 2 others, the phone cam and then the Insta360 were also running. And then at the end, I recorded my drive out of here, which then I pulled out the Insta360 oh geez, Go 3S, which I could use as they have a magnet attachment I put on the back of the car. So when I was driving out, I was watching my tail end leaving, and they didn't give any chase. So it's really, I mean, you just see them, they're just sitting there parked. I think I took their sleeping spot or their hangout spots. I think they were more upset about me parked in their hangout spots, and once I moved, then they probably took it, for all I know. They say that's the area where cameras don't show. Well, that's perfect for them. They can take a little nap in that corner, and when they put the fear into people, into locals, to not approach them, and just not approach them, then the cops can get away with a little nap time on the night shift. But these cops seemed a little jacked up. There was a certain energy about them. This some kind of inner motivation that they had, where they were very awake and alert, coming at me, not very relaxed, and I don't know if it was because of some kind of adrenaline rush from either a chemical source or from something that previously happened before they encountered me. But either way, they did take me by surprise, and I was not so responsive in the beginning, and I was sitting here trying to just I forget that my Insta360 camera, it doesn't turn, the screen doesn't turn on when you touch it, and I thought it was. I was supposed to. My head wasn't all there. The GoPro 360, the GoPro Max, the screen will turn on when you touch it, but I set the settings for the Insta360 not to turn on the screen even when I touch it. I have to hit the power button. So I wasn't even sure if that thing was on. And so, because I wasn't sure, I wasn't handling it as good as I should have, and then I just set it down thinking maybe it was off, but it recorded the whole time. I was so out of it. And then I turned to the phone cam, but the phone cam just, I mean, he was on me about that, pulling his gun on me, and I had no idea. I heard that the clicking sound, the plastic like release sound, which sounded like he probably pulled his weapon. But I mean, I would have had to turn to my left to look, and I normally just look away, and just let the camera catch it. I was more reliant on the camera catching that afterward. I didn't want to look. I mean, if I was going to get executed, that would have come as a surprise. I would have let it be a surprise more than anything, rather than looking straight at the barrel, straight down the barrel. Just let the shots be fired while I'm looking away. You know, that would show up on the autopsy report that he shot me in the back of my head, if that would have been the case, if it turned out that way. Instead of me facing him, it would have been my back turned to him pretty much, when he was standing, pretty much behind, in that, that advantageous way that they're supposed to. they don't usually stand in front of you. They want to have your back to them. So I reached in my bag, and my inside camera shows that. I was just simply reaching into my bag, and that was after the request for ID. So I mean, I thought my movements were reasonable. It's just he was jacked up, and he proved it a couple of times, multiple times, that he was just jacked up. It wasn't a sense of fear, because when I was sitting on the curb, he yelled at me, talking about talking over us and me talking over him. So that moment was a clear indicator to me that he was just jacked up more than acting out of fear for his own life and his own safety. It was just a person very jacked up and overreacting. And I mean, from what I've learned of his background now, he's a former wrestler, Kitslaar. He was successful up to the championships, and then he fell short multiple times. Uh, so I'm sure there's video of him wrestling. Somebody mentioned it on the TikTok, which I don't usually take TikTok views and comments very seriously, but I go through them because this video, this short clip of him pulling his Beretta. People are saying a lot, talking a lot about him having a Beretta. They were complimenting him on that because apparently that's a rarely used weapon on the police. So yeah, or wait, no, it wasn't a Beretta. It was something with musical. It's like I typed in that word and it was a musical like staccato, not Beretta. He pulled out a staccato, and I mean, you look up staccato by itself, and you'll see that it just says something about a musical instrument. So you got to look up as a weapon for police, and it's some rarely used weapon that people were complimenting him on. But yeah, getting the background of this situation, I need more information. I mean, I have no criminal charges pressed against me, but this act was so heinous that I want to look into it more, do some public records requests, find out that dog handler's name, find out the dog's name. See, and apparently there's a use of force report usually made for when a cop pulls their weapon. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see the body cam. So I want to make those requests, and now it's between two police stations, the sheriff's department and the city of Green Bay police, because the sheriff department called the canine from the city police. They have their own canine, but that canine's not working. So I'm gonna spend more time here and do some more research on that. So that's the story. I'm gonna see if I can stop this.